Hello, lovely people. June is here. Now, because I don't want to raise any alarm, I'm not going to scream, but June is here. So our reading for June is going to be different. I'm going to show you 4 decks, and you're going to pick a deck, and then you're going to follow the reading for that deck. That way, you're going to know which deck you're energetically aligned to this month. June is great for a lot of things, for a lot of people. Money, love, success, advancements. Let's see what it means for you. Okay? Okay, collective. So for the month of June, we are going to do a divination reading by the numbers. And what I need for you to do is to pick a deck that resonates with you, and then we're going to get into the reading for each deck. This deck right here represents the number 1. This deck right here represents the number 4. This deck right here represents the number 7. And this black deck represents the number 10. So take a moment, pick the deck that resonates with you. 1, 4, 7, 10. And then I will join you on the other side with the clarification. Okay, if you chose pile 1, which is this right here, then we're going to go forward with your cards. And what this means is that for the month of June, you're going to be focused your energy on your first house. And your first house represents your body, your person, your mind, physical activity, mental activity, your ideals, what it is that you would like to achieve in this month and in this lifetime. It also means that you're going to have some introspection taking place, and that introspection might lead you towards doing something new spiritually, a new awakening, or even making a plan to travel to some place where you have not been before. The cards that came out for you are the Joker, the Jack of Diamonds, and the Six of Clubs. The Joker, being the mastermind of the deck, means that you are in control. You have the ability to achieve that which you desire. So if you are seeking a transformation, whether that is in your body, in your job, in your life, your romance, whatever area it is, you are the person who has the skill set necessary to make the transformation. You're going to need the energy of the Jack of Diamonds, meaning you're going to need motivation, focus, material resources in order to make your change take place. The reality of this is that the Jack of Diamonds is the beginning of the court cards. As such, the Jack of Diamonds has a lot of tools, maybe not completely having the understanding of all of the tools that are in his bag. He has what he needs. He just needs to find what to use at the right time. Your challenge is going to be this Six of Clubs, making steps forward. The Six of Clubs has actually made some steps, made some transformations, and sometimes goes back and revisits the subject. For instance, your gut health. If you were eating cleanly for January of this year, February of this year, in March you fell off the wagon. That's an example of the Six of Clubs energy. Some movement was made, some process was made, some changes was made, and then you went back to your old habits. Now, the good thing is that because you have made some changes and you have seen some results from the changes, you have a little bit of motivation to go forward and actually get back on the wagon towards whatever it is that you were seeking to achieve. There's going to be some shadowy energy. And the shadowy energy is going to come from the 8 of diamonds, the ace of spades, and the 6 of diamonds. So you have the tools necessary, whether that's financial tools, that's a support system, that's the meal planning tips if it's a physical with your health. You have the tools necessary. However, with the 6 of diamonds, you have not necessarily utilized all of those tools appropriately. And then the ace of spades is saying that you're stuck in your head about which way to go. Your most ultimate challenge at this moment is to sit down, write out a plan, write out what would be beneficial for you to achieve your goal. Because this is first house energy, this is also activity energy, which means you need some of this 8 of diamonds movement of resources. The movement of resources could be your body. It could be your money. You might need to purchase something in order to advance whatever project along to the next stage. We're going to also clarify all of this energy with one of the big playing cards. I shuffled these prior as well, and we're going to pull a card for you. There you go, the 7 of diamonds. The 7 of diamonds is the bridge between the 6 and the 8. So the reality is that although you have these hidden things there, if you go inside and meditate, you will actually find the answers, the solution to whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, whatever goal you're actually trying to reach. The path will become clear if you spend some time internally, and the resources that you need will start to appear. So in addition to this energy, you have additional energy that you're going to focus on and deal with during this month. And that is going to come in the form of a lesson. Now, I've shuffled all the cards, but of course I always do a little shuffle again. And we're just going to pick a card that's going to represent your lesson for the month of June. And that is going to be the success card. Now, although it is in the reverse, we're going to look at it because in the upright, because energy is fluid. You have the ability to change this, and whereas it reverse would say, hey, I'm not going to be successful. You have the ability to have a successful outcome. Your lesson for this month is, I know that there is no greater goal than to love. I would encourage you that loving yourself is the ultimate achievement. And if you focus on the goals that you have and setting those goals and obtaining them, you will be extending love and grace to yourself. Let's move on with your next card that's going to be important. It's going to be the moon energy. And by the way, if you like this reading, this style of reading by the numbers, leave me a comment, let me know, and I will do more of them. Your moon energy is look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius. Now, the thing is that when you look at the bigger picture, you also need to look at the details within the bigger picture. Meaning, if your goal is, say, to begin exercising, well, do you have the right shoes to exercise? Do you have the clothes necessary to exercise? So, in order to achieve the goal, you're going to have to need some details. Sagittarius is rather detail-oriented. Full moon in Sagittarius means when looking at the bigger picture, you're going to expose some of the underlying things that you may be lacking. And your last card is going to be the number energy. And this is a frequency that will follow you this month. This month is 6-3. which is 63, which is parenting. And parenting means responsibility. Parenting also carries that letting go energy as well, meaning sometimes you have to allow your children to find their way. You guide them gently, but you also have to give them space, give them resources, and help them to make decisions appropriately, and so that they will become adults who can function without you. But the parenting has the aspect of the 6 and the 3, which means communicating at home and communicating with family. Perhaps your new direction, what you're working on is going to involve your parents or your children and or communicating with them effectively in order to reach the goal. All right. Well, I hope this reading helped you. Have a great day. Okay, if you chose pile number 2, deck number 2, this is your reading. Deck number 2, which is corresponding to the number 4, means that you are going to be dealing with your 4th house within astrology for the month of June. And the 4th house is all about the home and the mother. So those two energies will be of most importance to you. Let's get into looking at what the details of this energy hold. Well, so the main energy that you're going to be looking at is the 8 of Diamonds. And the 8 of Diamonds represent financial things related to the home. And this may mean that there's some challenges with employment for either you or your mother. And there's some changes in employment for you or your mother. And it changes the home structure, the home dynamic. What is going to help you is the Jack of Hearts, which indicates that, yes, this is an emotional time, but you have been through difficulties before, and as such, you are able to overcome whatever challenge that is thrown your way. You can come up with an idea to resolve the situation, and this could also mean that there's a Jack, a male figure, coming your way to assist you with this matter. Right? Which could be really good. That could be a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio. And then the next thing that you have here is one of the challenges is the King of Diamonds. And what this indicates is that the finances are not necessarily what you need for them to be as far as your home is concerned. So that could put a strain on your life in one sense, meaning that a bill is late, or you don't pay something on time. So there could be some challenges coming into play. The good side about the King of Diamonds is that there are resources available. You may have to look outside of traditional resources in order to find them, because the King has squirreled away some resources somewhere, right? The King has connections throughout the entire kingdom, okay? Another thing for you to be worried or concerned about a little bit is that the person who is able to assist you might be a little bit dogmatic. This person may be a little bit too rigid or stingy when it comes to their funds. So I would be careful of that. Now, there's hidden energy impacting you with everything. And that hidden energy is going to be the 4 of Clubs. And it's going to be the 10 of Spades and the Queen of Spades. One, there's challenges coming from a woman. And this could be an employer. This could be somebody who is maybe you rent a home, or your home is tied to a woman in some way who has the ability to assist you and alleviate some of the challenges, but perhaps chooses not to. The other thing here is that, yes, you think there's resources that should come to you, but those resources aren't necessarily going to come to you right now, because the growth with this 4 here is slow. So there's a potential for this to happen later. So there might be a little delay in that energy. And that can kind of make you feel a little bit disheartened. Now, one of the ways that you can overcome this energy and this challenge is by making a plan, because that 4 requires you to plan your resources and your movement and your actions carefully. If you do that, you could probably overcome this situation. Another thing to be careful for as far as health concerns are headaches, migraines, some shoulder problems, and perhaps some kidney problems. That's something that shows up with this kind of energy in the home and the resources there. Now, overall, let's pull a clarifying card regarding the energy. That is the Jack of Clubs. So there is a plan. Looks like you have actually met someone who can help you create a plan to resolve this situation. And that is what you will end up working on this entire month of June. Now, another thing that you're going to be dealing with this month of June is related to your children, as far as the mother-daughter, the mother-son, the mother-child relationship, and whether or not people are moving in a direction that you like or you desire for them to move in. That's another energy that you need to be aware of. And you might have to set some boundaries because people are taking advantage of your kindness. All right, let's look at what lesson card is going to be there for you. Again, I've shuffled all of these cards, but let's give it a little shuffle just so we can pull a lesson card for you. And this is for those who resonated with the 4 energy. Your lesson card is happiness. I am aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. I would encourage you to find happiness and joy in every situation. And you may have lost a job, but maybe your next journey, your next path is going to be one that leads you to more happiness. Perhaps the job that you were on was not one that was fulfilling at all. You may find another job that brings you more joy and more happiness. Or you may actually find retirement. Okay, let's look at the moon energy for you guys. And we're not going to consider it upside down. This is the full moon eclipse. And this is conclusions are within reach. So perhaps your money was eclipsed, or your home life was eclipsed, or something changed about that. Some kind of energy shifted with it. And at first it seems overwhelming, but don't worry, you're going to overcome it and make it through this point. And again, our last card is the number energy, and I have shuffled these as well, but always do another mini just shuffle. And this number is 55, adventure. So it looks like you're going to have new adventure in the midst of all of this change. You're going to have more change because perhaps one of the people that you meet along the way are going to encourage you to travel. And you might say, I don't have money to travel, but that might mean traveling within your city, going to new places, going to maybe museums and seeing different things. And there might be some other people that come in your life and give you more of an adventurous life, an adventurous time during this season. If you like this reading, this type of reading, leave me a comment, a thumbs up, share, and of course, I will see you on the next one. Okay, so if you chose this third deck, which represents the number 7, this means that for the month of June, you are going to be focused on things related to your 7th house, which is about your partnerships, your relationships, things that balance you out, or the need for balance. It could also be about the legal system, justice, and just balancing play with work. So let's get into further information here. So you're going to be dealing with the action regarding your partnership. So this Two of Clubs says you could be at the beginning stages of something. You're motivated to move towards something. This could be a new partnership, a new relationship. It is, remember, relationships can be with your significant other. It can be with someone that you consider a soulmate. It can be with yourself. It could be with people at your job. So you are now at a stage where you're forming new relationships, and you might need a little bit of motivation to foster those relationships, to build and to have them grow, right? What is challenging you is that your heart, the Ten of Hearts, says your heart is not in it. You do have a lot of relationships that you're already nurturing, and some of them, at least a lot of them, bring you some level of joy and fulfillment. But if this two here is related to, say, an employment, you might have to make room for fostering those relationships in order for the employment to be successful. What is challenging you is going to be the Three of Clubs, and this is your communication. So you're not being the first one to strike up a conversation. You're not being the one to say, hey, let's go out for drinks. Let's, go for dinner and a movie. And some people will take that as perhaps you're not really into them. And you really might be into them. You just might be more into yourself at this time. It is okay to clarify that, to say, hey, I have some internal things that I'm working on, I'm focused on to enhance my life, and perhaps people will understand that. Another thing that you must focus on is too much thinking, too much overthinking. The seventh house is also linked closely to that 7 number, and in a 6 month, which June is a 6 month, is in a 1 year, it already carries a 7 energy itself for introspection and reflection. So you may have double that. I would encourage you to actually go outside of your comfort zones. And if someone invites you to go out in public, say yes. Make yourself a little rule and say, hey, I'm going to say yes to 3 things this month, and just do it. And that way you will overcome some of the energy that's there. Within everything, there's always hidden energies, and the hidden energies for you are the 4 of Spades, the 8 of Hearts, and the Ace of Clubs. Ace of Clubs specifically, you're not highly motivated because this is the budding phase, and you just don't know exactly what to do, where to go, how to do it, when to do it. So you have a lot of questions. The 8 of Hearts is there, that really, one, you kind of are into yourself. You do love yourself. You feel like you have relationships that you love, and you don't really have room for some other relationships. But it is also a power move. You kind of feel like some other people should make the move towards being a friend to you or making the relationship work. You just feel that other people should do that. And then the 4 there with the spades is, there's a little bit of a play of the mental challenge that comes with building a relationship. The amount of mental energy that you have to put into it, you're stuck on that. You're contemplating that. You're like, not necessarily sure how this is going to go. And this is in any relationship. This could be job. This could be, with yourself. This could be a new partner. And you're already debating how much energy you need to put in it and whether or not you have that energy to put in it. Now, with all of that being the case, we're going to pull the additional cards, starting with the overall energy that's unifying that. And I have shuffled the cards, but never hurts to shuffle a couple more times and just pull a random card for you. There you go, the Joker. Now, this Joker actually is in the reverse, right? You see the Joker's in the reverse. So you have all the tools, all the tricks in your bag. You just not pulling them out. So that means that although at any moment you can pull them out, I see that you're going to spend this time enjoying your company more than you enjoy other people's companies. That could cause other people to see you as aloof or kind of withdrawn and kind of see you as a negative person. So be careful there. If those relationships are important to you, you might want to rethink that. Be careful also because there might be a tendency to fall into some type of substance abuse situation, and that could be food. It doesn't necessarily have to be like drugs. It can be something that's taking your mind and your attention away from fostering new relationships. In addition to that, you're going to have the lesson card, and I had shuffled these as well. So your lesson for the month. Ooh, envy. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. So is envy keeping you from actually forming these relationships with other people? Are you jealous of them? And that's a question for you, an internal question. You might need to just take a moment, take a step back and ask yourself that. And you can overcome that because you are the same as other people, right? Do you come across as someone who's jealous or envious because you are not communicating or fostering relationships? Your next card is going to be from the moon energy. And that is going to be your south node. Don't let your past hold you back. So perhaps, okay, so did you have a bad start in relationships before? And maybe you wished you didn't think about it. Maybe you wish that you could move past it, but you're kind of stuck there a little bit. You can do some journaling exercises. Of course, you can always see a professional to help you with as far as therapy, but you have to find a way to release that energy. You are who you are today, and who you are today has value. You are not what someone else thought you were, and you are not all the things that they did to you, right? And somebody's going to be really happy to have you in as far as in a relationship. Your last card is going to be, I guess this one. This is the numerology, is number 9, and it's going to be completion. So something is coming to an end in your life, and maybe you like that, right? So maybe with this 7 energy, where we talked about the relationships, you might have a relationship that's coming to an end. And this could indicate a change in job, a change in circumstances, a change in partnership, because perhaps you're choosing yourself and you've decided that it is time for that relationship to end. I hope that whatever's coming to an end is good for you and makes your life better. Know that change is the one thing that is constant within our lives. Again, if you like this, leave me a comment, like, share. See you on the next one. Okay, so if you have chosen this deck, you have chosen the deck that represents the 10. And that means that your focus this month is going to be on your 10th house and 10 energy, which 10 energy is success energy. The 10th house in general is about the business, the job, your professions, the government, people of power. It is also about achievements, things that seem to be good or bad, and dignity and grace. And there can be some things regarding fame and relationships and status. Okay. The 10 energy itself is seen as fulfillment. So this can be achieving status, achieving fame. It could also be achieving a goal. Alrighty. Now, the 10th house is also associated with Capricorn. Capricorn is a very hard worker. So this could also see you putting your energy into working on something, being dedicated towards a particular goal and actually achieving it. We're going to look further and clarify the energies on the first level. And this is Tarot by the Numbers. Okay, So the main thing that you have here is the Seven of Hearts, and that's your emotions and how you deal with things and the fluidity of life, right? The change that comes, ups and downs. And the seven is saying that this month, yes, you're dealing with the government, the business, the goal, the profession, but you're also dealing with how it impacts you, how you feel about it. You're riding a roller coaster of sorts. So you are getting closer to achieving your goal, but part of you feels that you're held back by something. The thing that is going to assist you on this goal is the Five of Diamonds. The thing about the Five of Diamonds is that, yes, you find a way to have some material success and a little bit of power, but your freedom might be restricted. You may not get to travel as much as, and that's something that apparently you desire to do. You may feel trapped in a location because of your job, because of your responsibilities. And then the other thing that is challenging you is the Eight of Clubs. And in that aspect, you may feel that you haven't had enough growth in this position. So you want to maybe become a boss, and maybe you are becoming a boss, but maybe it's not the way you want to become a boss. Or maybe you've been promoted and they have not trained you appropriately. So you feel like there's a sense of power that you have, but not completely. And you sense that you are headed in an upward trajectory, but not completely. Maybe your growth is moving slower than you would like for it to move. So that tends to be a little bit of a challenge. Another thing to look at is you want to travel. This travel energy here could be that you want to travel from the position that you're in or the career that you're in over to a new career in something totally different. And that could be what is pulling at your heartstrings. All right. With everything, there's always hidden energies, meaning other energies that are at play. And for you, you have the 10 of spades, the 9 of spades, and then the King of Diamonds. Now, apparently, this position, this job has the potential to pay you very well, very handsomely, right? So whatever this is helping you build your kingdom. Perhaps that's why you haven't left it. You have the mindset that, yes, I would like to be fulfilled in other ways, and I can do it. I have the ability to do it, and I can only do it if I let this go. But I don't know if I'm willing to let go of the financial benefit that I'm receiving. Or even if it's not the financial benefit, it's the status that you have in this position, and you would like to have that status somewhere else. And perhaps if you go somewhere else, then your status may change. You may go down to a lower level, or you may not be as well connected in the next position. Okay. Now, we're going to do an overall clarifying energy. And I have already shuffled all of these cards, but I always do an extra little shuffle. And pull a card. So your heart is going to win. The 10 of Hearts means that you're going to make the decision that aligns with who you are internally. So if money is your motivator, you're going to stick with the job. But if your desire is to be happy doing something else, perhaps something creative, this is the month that you're going to make those steps towards that other adventure. Okay? Everyone is getting a lesson card for the month. As usual, I have shuffled them, but it doesn't hurt to do a few extra mini shuffles. And your lesson is going to be growth. And it was in the reverse. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. So it says to me that what you want to do is maybe you're in finance and business and something that's a little less spiritual, and maybe you're seeking a spiritual path, a spiritual business, a holistic, some type of other avenue. You might want to be like myself and be a shaman. You're looking for something else, and maybe your job is holding you back, or perhaps you feel that if you go down this spiritual path, it would interfere with your job because maybe they don't see it as valuable or they frown upon it. Okay. So your lesson is to expand your consciousness and your awareness. Everyone also has moon energy that will follow them. And if you found this deck, the moon energy that will follow you is going to be new moon in Capricorn. We're in the 10th house, Capricorn's natal house. Your hard work is paying off. Okay, so the work that you're doing has benefited you, of course. Now it's time for you to perhaps look into the spiritual work so that you can find ultimate fulfillment within your life. And the last energy that is going to be associated with this deck in your month of June, the 6th month, which is a really good financial month, by the way. Oh, 22, intuition. Okay, you're meant to be a teacher, a builder, a master builder, and your intuition. What you have learned at this point in life is going to be able to help others. So you're going to have to use your intuition so that you can learn how to go about fulfilling whatever that desire is that's tugging at your heartstrings, because you're meant to be more, right? 22 is a master number. Master numbers teach. They sometimes teach by example, or they teach by building. Your job is to teach by building. Okay? If you like this, leave me a comment, a thumbs up, and let me know if you want to see more readings like this. Talk to you later.